these kids gonna play hard Saturday. I can see that. I've talked to them. I talked to the leadership council. One thing I won't accept is a lack of effort, and the guys know that. That's just they understand that, and we hope we're going to win, but we're going to play hard, and you guys will be sitting there saying, yeah, these guys played hard, and then the result is the result, but they're going to play hard Saturday.
Coach,
Terry,
how'd you
how
initially
has it gone? You just mentioned like managing the emotions, and then you also mentioned some things you had to correct that you've noticed with the team. So how's it gone managing the emotions, but also then being a coach and trying to get them to play better?
Yeah, it's a fine line, right? Because these guys are, fragile right now, right? So you don't want to coach them overly hard, but you got to coach them. I have a saying in my old cornerback room, check your feelings in at the door. And whatever you put on film, we have to talk about it. That's how we get better. That's how we make adjustments and corrections. So if you put something bad on there, we got to talk about it. You put something good on there, we're going to praise you and pat you on the back. But for us to be a good team, we've got to talk about the good, the bad, the indifferent.
Coach, how'd you initially address the team on Sunday, and was there any kind of a typical Sunday film watching, or was it a different day, obviously because of the circumstances?
This Sunday wasn't typical. I told you guys the other day that Coach Franklin addressed the team. Then I addressed the team for a few minutes. It was really emotional, so we canceled practice that day, canceled meetings. Came back on Monday, which is the normal player day off, but then we met individually with a lot of players to try to calm them down and give them a voice and allow them to express themselves and get some things off their chest and speak their mind. These are young men, and we as coaches, we all, heck, I basically got fired when I was a high school coach, so we've been through this, and we're trying to help those guys go through it.
How has it been adjusting to the responsibility of a head coach? Obviously, maybe talking to school administrators, boosters, anything like that. I'm not sure how much you've done so far, but have you done any of it? And how has it been dealing with basically non-X's and O's football stuff?
Well, your question should be, how much football are you doing this week versus last week, which is less football than I've ever done. So, I've spoken to Pat and Vinny, Kevin, our building administrator for football. It's constant meetings because there's just a lot going on. This is a big program. There's a lot of departments. We're trying to organize some things. We're trying to modify some things. We're trying to bring some energy and be creative in how to go about our business. And so there's constant meetings. But I was a head coach before. I was an athletic director before. It's just at a greater level.
Terry, how involved are you now in this role with depth chart conversations? Either side of the ball, especially offensive, has been before. Do you expect it to change?
Yeah, I'm very involved. Obviously, if we lose, you're going to be talking to me, and it's my fault. So I am involved in it. We're examining the depth chart. This week alone is, as I get my footing underneath me, is hard for me to make immediate decisions, but everything is under examination right now. So, we're looking for playmakers, guys that can change the game. And if you can change the game, it's my job to get you on the field to help us.
Terry, has Allard been around the building this week? Is he able to help Ethan out, help those guys that have been around you guys all this week?
No, he went to see his doctor, but we don't have any updates above that.
Terry, with Gronk, we know that Iowa has the reputation of a tough place to play. For a first-time starting quarterback, what have you seen from him in terms of, I guess, poise or demeanor that makes you think he's ready for what he'll see?
He's been great. I don't know if you guys heard the music in here. We try to give the crowd simulation. Obviously, like you said, Iowa's a tough place, and especially at night. He's handled all the checks at the line of scrimmage. We haven't had any communication errors at the line of scrimmage. So he seems to be adjusting well. He's doing good, making all the right checks. I'm kind of excited to see him. I think he's going to give us a bolt of energy, and I'm looking forward to it.
How much is Saturday's game a part of the healing process, right? It's been so
it's a big part. This is why we all are here at Penn State, to get on the grass and to play, and it's everything. And for these guys, it's when you grow up in the sport of football, this is the sport you're allowed to physically unleash yourself. So all your ailments in the world, you're allowed to physically punish the guy across from you, and it's okay. And this is the outlet that we're going to look for. That it's physically okay to punish the Iowa players, much like they're trying to do to us. But you know, channel your energy in the right way, stay disciplined, and knock them off the ball every play, and then get up and do it all over again, and have fun while you're doing it.
Terry, I tend to, when Nick Dawkins talks, I tend to look at that as kind of a window into the locker room. He brought up kind of a massive amount of guilt he was experiencing on Monday. What could they have done as players to maybe prevent this from happening on Sunday? How do you walk that line with your players and make sure they don't get consumed by that?
Yeah, it's a reality. So we tell the truth in the building, and we all failed Coach Franklin, right? That's why he's not here. We failed him, and so we have to take ownership in that. And as we move forward, we have to correct it, right? We want to play for him. We want to play for us. But at the end of the day, it's the game of football that we love. So every guy in the locker room has their own why. That's why you line up and play every snap.
Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Terry.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Terry.
Coach.
Thank you.